Skyward Sword, much like Wind Waker, is a Zelda title that is more than its artistic design. So when the announcement came that it would be released again for the Switch, it got me a bit intrigued. What's great about this title being re-released for the Switch is that the game was allowed to be more accessible than the original Wii release. So not only are you able to play with the original motion control experience with the Joy-Cons, for the most part, you're also able to enjoy it in a handheld mode or with the Switch Pro controller. It's also more accessible than just being on the Wii. Yes, I know the original was also released on the Wii U eShop, but as much as I like the Wii U, nobody bought it. No, I got my version from Best Buy. How could I pass up on getting Zelda socks and a Zelda keychain? And of course, I played this game in the most optimal manner, in Italian. So when you first start the game, you'll notice Skyward Sword really separates itself from other Zelda titles by having a hub world that takes place in the sky. It might seem small at first, but you'd actually be right. But as you progress in the game, you'll notice you're able to explore more areas than you thought you would have. You'll keep coming back to look for more places to explore, upgrade items, buy more stuff, open chests, and see this guy in all his glory. I really like this aspect of Skyward Sword, and how much focus went into even the hub world. So, the story for this game is that Link lives on a small island in the sky, attending the Knight Academy in order to become, well, a knight. After being introduced to some of the main characters and overcoming some obstacles, Link wins a ceremonial race with a special bird, the Crimson Loftwing, which is the travel companion for this game. Link is then promoted to knighthood. But shortly after, while riding their Loftwings, Zelda is then brought down by a mysterious entity, and it's up to Link to find her and put a stop to the entity dwelling beneath the clouds that caused it. So throughout the course of the game, Link explores the surface in the form of the Faron, Eldin, and Lanayru regions, getting tools and learning abilities along the way to help with the quest. The quality I like about this game is the fact that even though the surface is the main focus of the game, it doesn't feel too repetitive when you return to each of the areas. At least to me, it seems like each time you have to return to the 3 locations during the story, there's subtle changes, and you're able to explore more after having obtained items that allow you to get to an area you couldn't previously. What I mean is that it feels like there's a lot of care put into all the explorable areas, because there's very few instances where the space seems wasted. I don't know how, but Skyward Sword makes even land travel exciting, at least to me anyway. You start off in the sky, which feels limited spatially, so when you actually get to the surface and are introduced to the wide open area, it contrasts so much. There's also incentive to explore the areas to look for possible items on the surface, so you could use them to upgrade your weapons and shields when you return to the bazaar in Skyloft. That way you could feel better equipped for the adventure. You may even find a special item along the way that you can't get anywhere else. It's hard for me to explain, but there's a certain je ne sais quoi to this upgrade system. The blocks on the surface serve a purpose because once you find them and hit them with a signature Skyward Strike, it's up to you to explore Skyloft when you return and try to find the corresponding chest. The chest may contain materials that can help speed up the upgrade process, if there may be problems otherwise finding them on the surface. Some may be difficult to find, but thankfully you get the ability to locate them easier with the dowsing ability later on. So, the dowsing ability is pretty useful because it can help you locate items that may be hard to find otherwise, and is a neat mechanic that gives you another way to use your sword other than just swinging it. There's also a few stealth portions in these spirit realms to complete during the course of the adventure. The twist for this is that each drop you collect for the vessel gives you time on a meter. When the meter runs out, or when you get caught in the spotlight or accidentally step in a water puddle, the guards will be after you until you get the next drop for the vessel. There's also fruits that can expand the light, but be careful and try not to collect them all too quickly because they can't be replenished. But there's plenty of them scattered around the map, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Since these trials are a test of skill, Link has no access to any of his weapons. What I also like about this game is that, and this may be because there's only a limited number of items that are obtainable, but each item felt to me like they carried more weight than they would usually in other Zelda games, if that makes sense. They feel useful from when you first obtain them up until the final section of the game. The dungeons also had unique gimmicks to them, such as the ancient cistern where you use the whip to take off the boss's arms, or the sand chip, where the key to solving the puzzles lies in knowing when to switch the environment between the colorful past and the sandy present. Not to mention the various side quests such as the one where you give crystals to a demon, finding a ghost hand in the toilet, as well as doing some odd jobs to pay back a bar owner after breaking a chandelier for a heart piece, with the reward for that being, you guessed it, another heart piece. After finishing the game, you're also rewarded with the option to play the story again with a higher difficulty on Hero Mode, a feature that was introduced to the series in this game. The neat part is that the Hero Mode file carries over the collection inventory from the template file used to create it. So if you didn't get a chance to upgrade any of your shields or weapons that you wanted to on the first go around, you're able to do so much more easily. Skyward Sword implements these new interesting features to distinguish it from other Zelda titles, while also having a familiar feel to other titles. With it being released again on the Switch, it's more accessible and is definitely worth checking out if you never played it before, or checking out again if you stopped playing and just never went back to it. Who knows, maybe you'll find more enjoyment this next time around. Thanks for watching.